If you've ever had to back up a trailer at night without lights, you know it sucks. So we're going to change that. So this is my 26-foot gooseneck trailer, and I've had it for a couple of years, and I've always told myself that it really needs lights and haven't really had the opportunity to, so finally getting around to it. So I have some of these like a 4x4 cube light from SpeedTech Lights is what I just got kicking around, so that's what I'm going to put on. And for right now, the plan is these are going to get installed somewhere here down low, and that will provide light kind of at the axles and off to the side, so you can see on the side of the trailer when you're backing up. And then I'm working on something else for actual, direct in the backup lights. But for today, we're going to be getting these put in. So the first thing we're going to do is get a connector put on to the end of them, and then we'll start mounting and getting the rest of them wired up. This step is really completely optional. I just like to do everything kind of overkill and really nice and plan for the future. So I'm going to be getting rid of the factory ends here, and instead of using butt connectors, I'm going to be using a Deutsch DT connector, just a 2-pin connector with some sealed 3-conductor wire. I don't need the 3 conductors. This is just what I have kicking around, so I'll snip the yellow back, use the red and black to match there, and this way it's one cable bunch that's easy to route up through the trailer and not 2 separate wires kind of all over the place. So we're gonna get the ends cut off of this and then wired up with the Deutsch connectors. If you've never used the Deutsch stuff before, it's probably one of the most user-friendly weatherproof connectors out there. The WeatherPack stuff is nice. I prefer the Deutsch. It just seems to be more user-friendly for assembly, disassembly, stuff like that. So you have your receptacle and your plug. So the receptacle gets the male pins and gets the thinner wedge lock connectors, and your male plug gets the female pins with the wider flanged wedge lock plug. And then the terminals, I prefer the closed barrel crimps. Those get put together with a crimping tool just like that. They do have the open barrel ones, but haven't had as much luck with those. They are a little bit cheaper. These are a little bit more expensive, but I've never had issues with these crimps before. Got the male pins crimped on to the light end, piece of heat shrink over the end. I choose to put the male ends on the light end because that's kind of the dead end of the circuit. So if this was disconnected and you got a plug hanging there, the male pins stick out of this connector, so there's a chance of something being able to get in here and short out across the pins, versus if this is the end on the harness that has power and there's nothing connected to it, something would have to go inside both sockets to make that connection. But got these pins crimped all nice on there, and the next thing will be to install them into the connector and put the wedge lock in place. So I'll go through with you the full setup here. So cut the old ends off about 3/4 of an inch to an inch hanging off the end. Slide your piece of heat shrink over. I slide it over before I strip them, so that way the strands don't get in the way. Take your stripper. These connectors don't need much of strands of the end stripped. So I always give them a little bit of twist, especially this is the maximum wire gauge that fits with these pins. So a little bit of twist helps make sure they slide in there good. Make sure you can see, I'll zoom in for you, that when this is fully installed, there's hardly any conductor exposed. That's good. Once that's good, take your crimpers, the connector, if I grab the right one, male connector on there, take your crimper. This gets installed all the way, push against the bottom, crimp, and then I crimp again. I kind of crimp it halfway until I can feel that step and give another crimp. And that pin is good there. Go into the box. Got another male pin. Install this one over the conductor. Again, slide it over. 1 crimp, 2 crimp, and that's good. Take this, pay attention to which way you wire them up. So if I'm looking at the back of this connector with the dovetail to the top, I'm going red and then black. So you can put both these in at the same time. That helps install them. And you're going to push them through the seal and you'll hear a click. 2 clicks, locked in, you're good. And then you take your green wedge lock. I use a pair of tweezers here to help get it in place. The big opening kind of step here is going to go away from the pins. So that way, I'm sorry you can't see, but you'll drop that in place, and that again pushes in until it snaps in place. And pull up your heat shrink just like that and give it a heat shrink and you'll be good. Got the lights mounted up on both sides, so it's just drilled into here, bolted through. The next thing is going to route the wiring through, which will end up going up into the box here. I have this wireless relay that's hooked up that controls the light up on top. So for now, I'm kind of doing temporary with everything, just kind of proof of concept. I'm working on some other stuff to get rid of this, but I'm going to put in another wireless relay that will tie into the lights and have control over that. Additionally, depending on this box here, your 7-way connector does have a reverse function, but a lot of times if the trailer wasn't built with the reverse lights, there's no actual wire hooked up there. So that's the case on this one, so I'm not going to use the box, and time permitting, I don't have time to swap out the box right now, so that's why we're going to go with the wireless relay route. So I got some of these cord grips is what I call them, and they're just kind of like a rubber insert with a little pinch nut, so as you tighten down the nut, it pinches down the outside of the wire here. So I put one on either side that go into this box. That's a storage box and where the hydraulics and the battery and stuff are. So I just have it routed down, zip tied to another cable that's here, and then I'm putting some zip tie anchors here on the frame rail, offset onto this side so that the wire kind of hangs off of the rail here and doesn't rub on it, and then still a little bit of extra space there in case I need to pivot the light. But we'll finish getting this one tied up, and then we're going to do the same thing over there and route up the wire into that. Got both ends of the cables wired up here close to the battery. Got these wireless relays, which are actually pretty nice. I will put a link in the description below, and you can get some. It's nice because you get 2 relays with 1 controller. You can control them, you know, on and off remotely, and I've had this one on here for a while, and it seems to work pretty good. So we're gonna get this one hooked up. You tie your 2 grounds together, and then you have a positive in and a positive out, and then I ground the lights right to the battery post, not through this. That would be the only difference of following it, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Just hook up power. So I got the relays all wired up. Like I said, this is kind of temporary for right now. I'm working on something else with a different type of control setup, so all the relays here are going to end up going away. But as you can see, got the remote control here, and those are on B. Press B and the lights turn on and shut off, and then A is for the strobe light up top. But additionally, which is cool about these, is that if you push the button on them, you can also turn them on from the relay themselves in case you don't have the controller with you, or you left in the truck, you need to turn them on and off. You can override them through there. But overall, pretty pleased with this, and that will definitely help backing up at night, and can only add more from there. You know, you can put more up top, put some in the back, really do whatever. So it'd be nice to finally have some light being able to back up.